Rebellions are built on hope.
And welcome to another episode of Radio Rebellion, a Star Wars podcast. I'm your host, Alberto Calderon, and with us is back our co-host, Oti. He's back here. How you doing, Oti? Nice to have you. And don't upset a Wookiee. They don't like it.
We finally see why. I'm doing good. Suffering Florida hot day.
It is very hot. We just left all these storms we've had for the past 2 weeks, and now it's just sweltering over here.
I may or may not be wearing pants. I'll just leave it at that.
Just don't move your camera angle. Just leave it where it is. We're good right now.
Over here during the week, there was some heavy rain days. Like I had to drive my fiance to the airport one day, and there was like a 5-minute period where I'm not shitting you, I could not see anything. And she suddenly looks at me and she's like, wow, I can't see anything. I don't know how you're driving. I'm like, I don't see anything either.
I'm not really sure. Yeah, there's some days that I've thought about just stopping on the side of the road because it gets so bad, but then it lasts like 2 or 3 minutes and then you're fine.
It's weird because in Puerto Rico it happens like that. We have random rain and then sunny, but over here it's like random hurricane weather out of nowhere.
Yeah, it's worse than when say it's a hurricane coming, category 1, and you're cool when it just shows up out of nowhere.
I think I'm understanding the memes of Florida people not caring about hurricanes.
Yeah. It depends where you are, but what we care about is for you guys. If you're joining us for the first time, thanks for being here. Make sure you subscribe to our show so you don't miss any episodes, especially that cool one we had a week and a half ago with Tessa Gratton, a great chat we had with her. So make sure you subscribe to our channel. Comment down below if you're watching this later on the recap, and don't forget to hit that like and thumbs up button. And if you're listening to us on the audio podcast, thank you, and leave us a rating and review. We always love seeing those. All right, before we start, I also want to give a quick shout out and mention out our friends over at the Geeky Waffle. They're doing a fundraiser for Equality Now. It's called Acolytes for Equality. So Equality Now, what they do, they believe in creating a just world for women and girls. Since 1992, their international network of lawyers, activists, and supporters have tackled the most difficult issues, challenge ingrained cultural assumptions, and call out inequality wherever they see it. And where this ties with the Acolytes, the Acolyte star, Amanda Stenberg was the recipient of an Equality Now 30 for 30 recently. She spoke about it. So Saturday, not this Saturday, of course, not during next Saturday, July 20th is when the Geeky Waffle is doing their live fundraiser. I believe it between 7 and 10 at night. So go over there. There's a link down below going on the screen, and also in the video description. You can go donate and learn more about everything they're doing over there. So shout out to our friends at the Geeky Waffle and Candace, who's leading this charge today. All right. Before we start, because I don't know, I start every episode. Hey, my name is Alberto, blah, blah, blah. No, people don't understand my name. I was at a drive-thru this afternoon. And they, can we start with your name? So yeah, Alberto. I get my receipt back. It starts with an I. They put like Inverta, even with an A at the end. Like, what the hell? Why can you just not understand what I'm saying? It's been for years.
When I'm over here in the United States, when I'm asked my name, I always say Jerry. Because people don't understand. My name is Gerardo. People don't know how to say that. They'll say Gerald, but I think Jerry sounds cooler than Gerald. So, and I was like at a work thing in DC a couple of months ago, and I wrote down Jerry, and they were like, "Oh, are you sure?" And I was like, "Yeah, I don't want you fucking up my. I don't want you fucking up my name." So, but it's funny, Oti, which is so simple, 3 letters. I used to go by Oti like from high school all the way through college, and at Starbucks they would never get it right. They would write it with an H, they would write it with an Y. Like, someone once wrote Otaniel. like, what?
So, I don't like this. I don't believe your name is Oti. That's too simple. It's just add a couple letters there.
Yeah, but it is what it is. I'm sorry.
It's like because my
this
daughter
was Bert.
Yeah, I hate it because some people just call me Albert. Just add an O at the end. It's not that difficult.
It's
just add the O.
Hard.
But it's not even close. If they're close, I'll let it go. But this wasn't it. All right, so let's go ahead and start. It's been not a while. We didn't have a chance to talk with you last week, so we'll do it today. So if you guys are ready, I'm not ready. Let's talk Star Wars and Star Wars on TV. Star Wars on TV. All right, episode 7 of the Acolyte of the Choice. Before we start with Choice, what were your thoughts on the previous week, the steamy episode, I guess, when Chimera saw this robe? He didn't have no pants, same as maybe you over there. He went into that pool of water. What were your general thoughts?
Yeah, I have to apologize. I was supposed to be here. A certain canine of mine had a skin issue, and we had to take her rush to the vet to get checked out. So that's why I wasn't here. So I really like the episode. There's some discourse going around that's throwing me the wrong way, and we may or may not be talking to a big proponent of that discourse next week. So that's gonna be fun and respectful, of course.
Yeah.
But I really like that's why I was so pissed off that I couldn't be here, because I really like the episode. I'm entranced by Chimera or Chimera, whatever, and how manipulative they are. How it's like that classic Sith, like, of course he has a point, but that's not what he's really selling. For me, it's very much like Mark Yonro. Like, he's talking about, the Republic and the Jedi overstepping their bounds, and he does have a point, and coming to different planets and telling them what to do. But that's not really what he's selling. He's trying to do something else. So I really like Chimera. Like, I love how he's constantly deflecting blame to anyone else.
All of it,
he's just getting in her head. But again, he has a point. I love that line when he's like, so weird, right? If you killed me in the battlefield, it would have been completely justified. But if you kill me here after I've done that, that would be wrong, right? And semantics. I really love everything that Manny Jacinto and Leslie Hetland came up for molding that character, and everything with May and Soul was very interesting. Having that moment of him breaking down. When the ship breaks down, and having May, there's a moment that I really like. Now we're starting to get the pieces, but when he's like, I have to come forward with what actually happened in Brendok, and she's like, yeah, what actually happened in Brendok? So she doesn't even really know what happened. So that was when I loved everything with Vernestra, by the way. So yeah, seeing her, I don't know what's up with her. I don't know if that's going to play into something, but everything with the Senate being like, we're going to have to have some
independent review or something.
And she being like, ugh. And of course the whole hyperspace, like, I don't know what she said. Like, I'm not afraid of it. I'm just nauseated by it or something like that. That was, of course, a fun connection to the books.
Yeah, I don't want to go through everything we talked about last week, but speaking with Norhal, and I know everything leading after last week, it's not manipulation, it's not manipulating her. It's a different type of manipulation, right? Maybe not, join me and we'll rule the galaxy. Let me tell you from my point of view what the truth about the Jedi is. I'll let you come to your own conclusions, but like you said, just deflect. Oh, you killed my friends. Oh, she was going to kill me. Oh, but you did this other thing. Oh, what do you think was going to happen if you just killed Kalnaka? Kalnaka. You helped May kill 2 other Jedis. You're blameless, I guess. But like you said, that's what the Sith do. They'll tell you the truth like you want to hear it, so you can come to their side without being forced to. Basically.
For me, the biggest one, and that's from an episode ago, like when he kills Jackie, and you killed a child. Oh, you brought her here. Like, what does that have to do with anything? Like, yes, he knew that, but why does Jackie have to die because of that? Like, and why did you have to kill her because of that?
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yeah. All right, that was weeks ago. And like you mentioned, next week we won't have an episode on Saturday. We'll come in a couple of days before July on Thursday. So Thursday at 7 p.m. we'll do our Acolyte finale with our friend from Collider, Maggie Lovett, will be here. She has some great thoughts out there and her ideas of what's going on the show. So check, and she's had some great interviews with Leslie Headland. She'll be here on Thursday, so that's going to be a fun episode. All right, Otto, before we start digging in, who's out there in the chat? I see a couple of comments.
Yes, we have Brandon's in the chat. Hello there. He's saying that he thought, he thought this was a fantastic episode and recontextualized what we thought had happened. This episode shows that nobody was blameless in this tragedy, and I think tragedy is definitely the key word here.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with that so much. We owe a certain master an apology. 100% agree. Dale is in the chat. Hello there, Dale.
Hello
and we
there.
also Hansel on the chat.
Oh.
Are participants in discussion reading the chat? Yes, we are.
We are. We're going to have fun with you guys. So give us all your theories, everything from this episode, next week, everything you think is going to happen. So let's start with Choice, episode 7. We all kind of knew this was going to be the other side of the incident on Brendok. Is it the truth? From a different point of view, we'll get into it. First, before we actually just start digging into it, I know even from the first episode, a lot of people have had issues with the pacing or the structure of the show, the way the episodes end. It doesn't feel like a TV series. To me, watching the Acolyte feels like reading a book. Like every episode is almost like a chapter. So to me, I'm just watching a live action High Republic book. Basically, it feels like every episode is a chapter, even the way it ends, the way everything starts connecting after halfway through the book. To me, it feels like a book, so I don't have an issue with people with the way some are talking about the way the show is structured. Do you find any problem with the way the episodes have been going?
No, it reminds me a lot of Andor, with the abrupt ending.
And Andor, yes, and very abruptly every week.
It's clearly like this long story that's cut in strategic moments, and yeah, it feels abrupt, but I honestly don't mind it. Like I know there's an episode the next week, so
yeah, there's more coming. All right, so let's start before we go into who's to blame, if anyone's to blame. Like Brennan just said that maybe no one's to blame. It's a big misunderstanding, but I love seeing the Jedi doing science, collecting moss, using it looked pretty, not crappy, but that's a metal detector. All right, that's a metal detector.
It was so weird seeing Kilnaga with a metal detector.
Of all the people that work with a metal, just go to the beach there and get some lost keychains or something. But I love seeing the soul collecting moss, putting it in its little bucket. But the big thing to start is, this planet was lifeless because of a certain hyperspace disaster that happened 100 years ago. And I kind of go, that's from the books. And my wife is like, shut up, what are you talking about? Great callback to all of us. That
mention, none mention.
It's there. Oh, it's a great mention. But all right, so are the Jedi to blame? And for anyone out there that might be the first time listening or watching to our Acolyte recaps, we won't go scene by scene, just kind of different incidents or different things that happened during the episode. That way we'll cover everything. But are the Jedi to blame is the big, I don't want to say discourse, but the big question out there this week is, we finally saw what happened. Why are the Jedi hiding what happened on Brendok? Why is Torben killing himself and doing the Barrage vow? And we found out. And a lot of people, or some people I should say, went to say, there you see, the Jedi responsible for it. Other half, well, actually, maybe the witches had a part to play on it, and we'll cover the witches later. But so are the Jedi bad? They kind of broke into the mountain and had Kilnaka slice the door instead of just ringing the doorbell. Saul was kind of creepy, following Osha around and having this quick connection to her. I need her to be my Padawan. And Indara, like Brendan said, we have we're sorry, Indara, you're a great master. We hope you're still alive. But just watching the episode that first time, you thought, maybe the Jedi overstepped, or is there more to it? I mean, there's more to it, but
I remember when we talked about the third episode, I mentioned that I was very uncomfortable with how the Jedi were presented in that episode. And that there was a specific moment when they get there and they're like, oh, we have a right to test them. And I liked in this episode how after that moment, May goes to so like, very smart coming up with that. Like, so that's clearly not a Jedi policy. They don't have a right to anything. So just made that up at the very moment. Did they overstep? They did. But my main issue with being like, it was the witches, it was the Jedi, it's an ultra oversimplification of what the episode is trying to tell us, and it's telling us that it's way more complex than that. Are the Jedi to blame? Yes, they started it 100%, but it wasn't the Order per se. The Order actually is like, leave them alone. You've done enough.
For the first time, I'm like, look, the council finally did something right.
Indara confronts Soul. Stop! You are forcing this. So it's, I don't want to go with the bad apples thing, but it's definitely bad apples. I kind of lost my train of thought. But I'll start there. Like, they definitely overstepped, and that was, of course, the inciting incident for everything that happened.
Yeah, it's like you said, like, just is an oversimplification of the episode, and even the discussion on Twitter or just social media in general. I'm kind of thinking this is the point of that episode. Like, there's not a clear answer. Like, both camps did things wrong. There was a big misunderstanding between everyone, and people inside both of those camps took it a little bit too far. We'll talk about Mother Coral later on, and basically Saul and Torvin. Poor Torvin just wanted to go home, just went nuts. Oh, I gotta go get the twins because that kind of shows that there's a virgin, and then we can go home and just do what? Are you just gonna steal them?
But was that accentuated by Anastasia?
We'll talk about all that. It's pretty honest.
But again, but that's what I'm getting to. It's more complicated than being. See?
No. And because if it was all four Jedi, we're like, yes, we need to kill the witches and we need to take the twins. And you're like, yeah, the Jedi, you're clearly wrong. And yeah, you're the villains of this series, which maybe by the end, who knows? But it's not that simple. But yeah, it started with, and I say when it's positive, I'll say when it's negative. It's not negative to the show. Just I think it worked for what Leslie Helen wanted to show. I always say my family is kind of the normal fans that if they like an episode or not, I don't follow too much what Twitter is kind of going. My wife and daughter, seeing the way Saul was reacting to Osha and following her and saying, oh, I feel there's a connection so quickly, they felt a little bit creeped out with the way Saul was portrayed, which is the way that Leslie Helen wanted to. Because real life here in my community, something like that just happened recently at my kids' school. Yeah, so it's like ingrained right now. Yeah, dude, off air, I'll tell you. But when they saw that, it's like, I don't know, he was acting kind of weird. Yeah, it's true. So if the coven sees it that way, it's like, yeah, they want to protect themselves against the Jedi. So I understand that part. And he's climbing the temple and climbing the mountain, and he's the one making the noises. Like, dude, chill out. It's not that important to have a Padawan.
But the counterpoint to that, like, Soul, and here we can get into other things, but to Soul's defense, every time he's seen the girls, what he's seen is them in trouble. Of course, completely out of context. Completely, 1,000% out of context. And maybe if he was more in tune with the Force and less in tune with his eyes, and more in tune with others' feelings instead of his own, and projecting those feelings to others, as Indara is telling him, he would have probably seen, because Indara's kind of like, I don't know, like, I know, like, I believe you, but I'm not sure. Yeah. So again, to his defense, yes, he saw some things that creeped him out, maybe, and thought they were in danger. And it doesn't help, of course, May's butchering of what the Ascension is. We don't know. Maybe they were going to be sacrificed or something
They're
like that.
Next to a big hole. I just might push them.
Maybe we don't know, but Anisea and Coral seem to love those girls, so I don't think that's what that was.
I still don't understand the Ascension, because I don't know. Hopefully at some point in the future they'll talk more about the Ascension and what that means. Apparently all the witches are dead, so that coven is gone.
By the way, I just want to mention there's some comments in the chat that we'll get to when we get to certain topics. So
okay,
I'm not ignoring them. They'll come back.
So I had the misinterpretation of the Ascension. What May says is, oh yeah, we need to like sacrifice ourselves for the greater good or something. Oh, everyone must be sacrificed to fulfill their destiny. So there is when in that's like, yeah, maybe we have to go and see what's going on, because right, like you said right before, Soul's overlooking that mountain and they're chanting next to a big hole. So it's like, yeah, I've seen this before. This is where the dragon comes up and kills someone when you sacrifice them. So again, a big, huge misunderstanding. Maybe let's just talk one-on-one. Like in that one, let me go by myself. If we go as a group, it's going to be challenging. Oh, there's 50 women and children. So chill out.
And by the way, that just weird comment, that reminds me of something I did as a kid. When I was a kid, I thought all adults drank beer and smoked cigarettes. And I remember I once told my grandmother, like, oh no, because my dad, he was smoking a cigarette. My dad has never smoked. And she was like, I can't believe like he's smoking, like what the fuck. And then my mom was like, why did you tell your father smokes? You've never seen him smoke. And I was like, no, but that's what all grown-ups do. And she's like, no.
Not funny, but then my dad was the other way. He smoked like 2 packs of cigarette for most of his life. So maybe some of them do. Depends.
They smoke for the ones who don't.
Yeah, that's right. Some cool stuff, and we'll break it down a little bit later, but just kind of all the Jedi to blame kind of this talk we're doing now. After we taste the twins' blood, we get mention of high M count that we just heard that in the Bad Batch, staying away still for midichlorian, but high M count with that for the twins. That's where Torvin kind of goes nuts, and Soul kills Anisea. And we'll talk when we talk about the witches. We can talk about it right now, because we're talking about misunderstanding and things out of context. I understand Soul. Okay, he went a little bit too far. He killed her.
Yes, but when like, he's the one who's wrong there. Just to be clear,
when you kill someone, you're wrong. But like you said, and we've talked, in his eyes, the twins have been in trouble since he knew that people were there. Torvin had just gotten his mind take over, and he tells them, this can happen again. If we're going in, you gotta center your thoughts. My mind is fortified. He's ready to go. Coral's ready to fight. She goes into a stance to stab Torvin, who ignites his lightsaber, and Isaiah starts transforming into this black smoke. May, who he thinks is Osha, starts also turning into black smoke. So he's like, oh crap, something is happening to the daughter. I'm gotta do something, and freaking stabs her. Probably should have maybe thought a little bit, but in that state of mind that he was, that was the only play. So I understand why he did it. It's still wrong, but I don't want to. I mean, I'll blame him, but it's not evil. It's
Ken Naftalk in Force Center said like Soul was wrong, but Mother Anisea, that was not the moment to take out a phone. So yeah, going to real world things. I agree. Like Mother Anisea, that was not the moment to turn into a creepy smoke monster, to the smoke monster of Lost.
Yeah.
But I really think she was trying to protect May. I saw it as a Dragon Ball Z thing. I thought she was gonna like instant transmission her and May something else and then come back. I don't think she meant any harm to anyone in that moment.
No, because then we saw later on Mother Coral kind of do the same thing. I bet they just vanished and went inside the temple. But then
Hansa saying when Mother Anisea turned into black mist, it kind of resembled Mother Talzin from the Clone Wars, but also started to turn into mist. So I kind of thought I thought of essence transfer. Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I for sure, like in the moment, and I don't give Soul a pass because he killed her.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I was like, what the hell is she doing?
How would you react, right?
Yeah, I
I'll
probably
jump out of the way.
But yeah, and again, like tensions were high. I'm not making excuses for Soul. He was 1,000,000,000% wrong. He should have faced consequences for that. But again, it's all part of the tragedy because here's this mother trying to probably protect her child and dies because of it.
Yeah. I love that Saul. He never wants to go to the council. He always wants to act. And as soon as he does something wrong, I guess I gotta go to the council and tell the dude, you're like 5 steps behind. You should have done it before. And then just kind of finishing up with the Jedi for these parts. After Kolnaga, we'll talk more about Kolnaga later. He's kicking ass, and then here comes Indara with her Matrix move to free his mind, and then basically ends up killing the rest of the witches. Which again, I do understand why then May might be kind of having this resentment for so many years.
Does she kill the rest of the witches?
I'm saying yes because of the interview that Leslie Headland gave.
Oh, she confirms it?
Yeah.
Oh, that's fucked up. Yeah. I mean, but she was freeing Kolnaga. Like,
yeah.
I'll give Indara a pass over there.
yeah. I love that Leslie Headland's going out giving this big long interview because she does answer a lot of questions and put things to ease or maybe stir more stuff up. But at the same time, I wish it happened a little bit later because it's like the day after. So all that theories and the things we can discuss, like they've been answered already.
And they happen and they come out like 2 hours after I record my episode. So it's like, it's not October. And 2 hours later, no, it's not. I'll be honest, I don't like that she's doing this.
So because it's so quickly after the episodes? Or just in general?
I like mysticism. I like, Ryan explained a lot of things, but I like the JJ approach that, what does this mean? And him being like, what does it mean to you? Like, at the end of the day, yes, it's a morality tale. Some things should be clear, but I do like some things up to interpretation. There are some, the Octo thing, I don't really mind that much, but I think you're killing some of the speculation, which is a huge part of the franchise.
Yeah, I agree. I agree 100%. I wouldn't mind if this was like a month after, or maybe after the show ended, she gave this long interview. But there are things like even Acto, which it doesn't change anything. It'd be cool to just speculate for years. Is that Acto?
And then maybe. Her being 5 years later, no.
No, or then some other TV show or movie comes out and we go back to the planet and we find out it's something else. That's because people were, maybe even this other planet from the Sith side is Acto, but they call it something different. And the Jedi call it Acto, but no, it's not Acto. And even, are the witches dead? Yeah, just leave it up. If it doesn't come back in the show, it doesn't, but now kind of killed any more future stories with the coven at least. So.
Hear me out, Leslie and Disney. Instead of doing interviews, get Maggie and do episode commentaries for each episode and do like a Blu-ray thing.
Yeah.
Think about it.
Great. All right, so we already covered a lot of it, but talking about Soul's obsession, we already thought he kind of was a little bit creepy following the twins. Feeling this attachment to Osha so quickly, especially after the conversation she just had with Indara about maybe wanting a Padawan, and Indara, this is why you don't have a Padawan, because you just want to imprint on them what you think or your thoughts and your feelings. Just let them figure it out by themselves. Always thinking that the twins are in danger. And then, of course, we're going to talk about it now. Only saves Osha instead of May, letting May drop. Was there a chance I could have said, before I get to that, something you mentioned before reminded me, someone, I don't know, no one that I follow put a comment on Twitter that maybe this is the team for the Jedi. They're not the brightest bunch that they say nowadays. This is just busy work. This is not the A-team. These are not real masters out there. These are.
I mean, they are scientists looking for
that.
moss.
I did a Star Trek kind of comparison. The prime directive in Star Trek.
Tony talked about that in the show.
Yeah, don't interfere. Dude, just stay away.
Yeah.
But yeah, I found it weird that he let May drop, because at that point, maybe just the way it was filmed, it didn't feel like those bridges were collapsing or that they weighted too much. I don't know. Maybe they collapsed. I don't know. I don't know. I'll leave it there. But I understand he couldn't let both of them die. At that point, it's like, I'm straining too much. I don't have enough force to hold to both of them. But again, just a visual of him cannot decide, I'm going to let one die or let one drop, and then save the other. Difficult visual, basically. But I don't know what other options he had at that point, because if not, both of them would have fallen into the flaming pit.
Yeah, like for him, it's a judgment call. Like, I think I have a connection to this girl. This other girl lied to us and probably is too committed to this coven. So if I'm just gonna save one, it's gonna be Osha. So
yeah, I love that May was straight up lying for 5 minutes. Hey, what's the ascension? And then she just reveals everything about the ascension, just full on truth, instead of, don't worry about the ascension, that's not for you. Oh yeah, we do this and we do this and we're gonna sacrifice ourselves, and you just lie for 5 minutes. But let's talk about Indara and Sol and their difference of opinions. We already covered a little bit, and like Brennan said at the beginning, man, Indara in this episode killed it, man. I fell in love with Master Indara. Carrie-On Moss did a great job with this character.
She's a character that's felt like the prime instigator in the third episode.
Yeah.
And here we learn she was like the only one who was trying to de-escalate the situation. She's the one trying to put Sol in his place. That was a wonky moment, I will say, like when Torben's like, we gotta go, and they're like, no. It's like, just force push him or something.
You stop him. Turn the speeder off.
Yeah, but whatever. I really liked Indara in this episode, and just seeing her, waving that flag for what the Jedi should actually be. I owe her an apology.
We all do. I mean, she was great, and like you said, that first episode 3, she's like, I'm like, yeah, I guess there's a reason you died first. But yeah, in this one, she's the voice of reason. She's the one with the Padawan there, wanting him to learn by himself instead of explaining everything, which I understand, but at the same time, you can tell him, hey, we've been here for 7 weeks because we're looking for virgins. I don't know why they didn't tell poor Torben what they were doing.
They were looking for virgins.
I know, but they didn't tell him. It's like, if I knew what I was doing here. And then Sol is, well, we're looking for virgins, and a virgin is this, that, and the other.
Oh, that's for us to find out.
Yeah. Oh, no, we gotta, it's like, why did this happen? Because the story needs to happen. The story needs to get to that point. So that's why that happened. But yeah, it's Indara telling Sol, not just at the end when she's pushing him on Ocean, that supposed connection that they have. When Sol goes, oh, he was disturbed, and that's why he couldn't figure out what's going on with the virgins. So he's like, no, you were disturbed. Like, don't confuse Torben's feelings for yours. And then again, don't want to say for things that she wants to be your Padawan just because you want a Padawan. So I love seeing that.
Go.
No, just seeing 2 Jedi Masters have that difference of views, just what the Jedi should be doing and how to deal with a Padawan, deal with attachments or whatever, not in a love connection, but just that type of relationship. Seeing 2 Jedi go toe to toe, and then at the end almost get into a fist fight in the middle of the ship. Cool to see that in Star Wars.
Oh, I love when she snaps at him.
Yeah.
I think my favorite Indara moment is that ending part, which we'll probably get to. And after Osha's trial, when he's like, see, she fits, and he's like, yes, because you gave her all the answers, you moron.
I think we talked about it after episode 3. It's like, isn't he, when he talks about, oh, there's thousands of children like you, it's like, he's kind of pushing it.
He's literally going like, oh, it's Disney World. Isn't it fun? And like, yeah, it's way better than here, right?
It's not as muggy. You don't have to kill yourself. There's rides. And you get a cool lightsaber to play with. So I love that. They talk about needing a Padawan. We already covered that. And again, when Soul comes back, hey, I saw these kids, they're in danger, we gotta go. And she's like, no, I need to contact the council. And it's like, no, I know you want to, but we gotta go back. We gotta go now. Kind of goes back to every time that Soul talks to Vernestra. And Vernestra, okay, come back, let's report. Or come back to, no, I gotta go. He wants to act.
He hasn't learned that lesson.
16 years. And then that's where it comes from. When he messes up, let me confess to the council. Dude, no. Stop and think. He hasn't learned that yet. Coaching Osha, again, forming those attachments with Osha a little bit. I don't confuse what she wants with what you want, is what she tells her. Oh, and I love this line also. Do not alter this girl's destiny because you have formed an emotional attachment to her. That's kind of hit hard.
And I think it goes to the parallel of this episode with episode 3. The third episode is framed from a destiny point of view. Like, this all happened because it was meant to happen. Mm-hmm. And this episode choices, and it's like the contrast in Star Wars. Star Wars always talks about destiny. At the end of the day, it's all about character choices. And here we see like the supposed destiny was a series of choices characters made. Mm-hmm. Probably incorrectly that situation.
All of them. What is it that the thread said in episode 3? Like, the Force doesn't. The Force is, there's not this destiny. You get to choose mm-hmm. what your life is going mm-hmm. to be, and then unfortunately leads to this, and then that leads to that fight at the end. And Soul saying, "I wanted the twins to be safe," and then in there goes, without thought of the consequences. And I had to make a choice. Before you throw yourself at the mercy of the council, ask yourself why you made this choice. He still hasn't figured out why he had to act that way. And then again, at the end is when Indara's, this girl has already suffered enough. She lost her whole family. Why then are we going to put more on her? And then Indara kind of decides to lie to Osha and lie to the council. And then again, that I think that's her fault in all this, was that part there.
I'm still torn with that.
Yeah.
Because I think she's, again, it's probably a mistake, but she's also kind of telling Soul, like, you're not getting the easy way out. Now you have to stick with this girl, and you have to live with what you did. And it's up to you to tell her at some point what happened.
Yeah.
So, because I don't know. I don't know. I think it's more complex than just being like, this is correct, because she has a point. Like, you did this because mm-hmm. you wanted to force this connection to her, and now you're gonna
now deal with it. Yeah, he wants to. Go ahead.
Whether he forced it or not, they have a connection.
Mm-hmm.
So you're also gonna break that now. So it's messy.
Yeah, it's almost, even though for a lot of people confessing the truth is extremely hard. At that point, it's the easy way out, right? You just want to confess to it so you don't have to deal with Osha telling her the truth. With almost same thing with Torvin, because May told her, confess to the council or kill yourself. I'm going to kill myself. Maybe we'll talk a little bit about that later. Was it really needed?
Harold just made this point. Now we know why Torvin killed himself. They actually killed everyone there. And I'll be honest. Torvin's death, that's kind of a trap the show walked into. When you have a situation like that, the reveal has to sell me on it. Yeah. And I'm still kind of like, why did he commit suicide, though? Like, it kind of was him, but not really.
So the first time that I watched the episode, I'm like, poor Torvin, you didn't have to kill yourself. And even going to a barrage battle for the past 10 years for his role in this, he kind of initiated it. So you can say that if he didn't go rush into that temple, maybe none of this happened. But there were a lot of things also happening. Like, I think Saul probably started everything before with his kind of the twins are in trouble always. And then once both of them were there, Torben, which again his mind had just been invaded a couple of hours before, he's defending himself from all the other witches are shooting freaking plasma bolts at him. He didn't kill anyone. So I don't, Torben, why don't kill yourself? But anyway, what I was saying was, yeah, for Saul, maybe just confessing to the council was the easy way out. And like you said, in Dara especially, no, now you gotta live with the consequences. Like she said, why did you make this choice? Figure out why you decided to rush into there, kill Mola and Isaiah, unfortunately not be able to save her sister, and now you have to deal with just Osha by herself, no other family. Figure it out, which is not an easy thing to do. All right, so they're in Brendok looking for a virgins in the Force, which is something we don't hear too often. It's great to hear virgins in the Force. And my first reaction was, where? The twins are virgins in the Force. And that is that, like I mentioned, that interview came out and Leslie, no, the twins are not the virgins. There's a virgins around it that then help whoever created the twins give them enough.
Does the episode flat out say that they are the virgins? I kind of thought it did. Okay. Or they think to the Jedi.
When they get the blood results, Torben says, "Oh, this is proof of the virgins that twins are the proof," and that's when he goes. I mean, they have just taken these samples, the blood samples, and say to the council, "Hey, look at the results. There's a virgins. We can go home." You have to go and get the freaking kids, bring them to Coruscant. See, hold them by the neck. The virgins is here. Just take the blood sample and the results. You have proof right there. Why did you go all the way, Torben? Homesick. Poor homesick Torben.
Yeah. Going to the virgins, where is it? Harold was saying, I think he's talking about the virgins here. It's not the twins, it's the Jello tree, like the cave in Dagobah. I agree. That tree has like kind of like that Game of Thrones tree vibes.
Oh, so is it? I was going to ask, is it the Bunta tree or is it the cave where the ascension is going to happen?
Maybe
it's one of those two. Maybe
it's maybe the whole thing is the dark side version, like the dark side cave in Last Jedi and Dagobah, and maybe the tree is like the tree in Octo.
Maybe. I mean, it works with the whole episode of twins and one consciousness divided into two. Give me two virgins in the same place. I love it.
Staying the topic of the virgins and the twins, Hansa was asking earlier. In the 7th episode, Osha and May are stated to be consciousness split into two bodies. Osha light, May dark. Isn't it a parallel to what happened with Revan in Star Wars: The Old Republic video game? Hansa, I haven't played that video game in a couple of years, so I'm not super ultra duper fresh on it. It wouldn't surprise me if it is a parallel to that, because Leslie Helen has talked extensively about being a Legends fan, so it probably has something to do with that. So, probably that's where she took it from. Maybe May and Osha are Revan. Who knows?
By the end of this, we'll find that out. I love that description when their blood is the same. Yeah, they're twins. No, it's exactly the same. The symbiote is exactly the same. It's one conscious divided into two bodies. Again, I love when Star Wars give us all this new type of lore and weird Force things happening out there. Yeah, it's not Anakin or what happened over there. It's just something different. I want to figure out. And when Saul goes to her, how were the twins created? And Coro's like, I told you, they're going to find out. And we still don't know.
No.
I want to know. Hopefully by the end, we'll find out.
Yeah. Hansa had a question here that I thought it was interesting. Question is, why Kelnaga let himself be killed by Chimera on Kofar? Why was Kelnaga drawing weird symbols in his hut? I think maybe the witches did a number on him, and that was like stuck in his head. And yeah, he probably felt the same guilt as or maybe he was taken by surprise, and before he could turn, was killed by.
Just taking a little nap in his hut after he ate something. Just take a little nap.
Yeah.
I mean, it's weird because he didn't put up any fight. Maybe he just similar like Tobin. Like, I've been waiting for you, so just kill me now.
Finally, you're here.
Weird person that I don't know who you are, but yeah, kill me. But I love seeing the symbols in his hut. I think there's not gonna be a big explanation for it. Just remember, just kind of putting the audience in that mindset that he's still thinking about what happened so many years ago, and he just doing his own kind of repentance, I guess, in that in Kofar, wherever he was. Talk about the high M count, the blood samples. But again, virgins. I love every time a virgin is something weird in Star Wars. But
I like when we get into the mysticism of Star Wars.
Yeah, that's why. So I love Ahsoka because it gave me a lot of that Star Wars and Jedi mysticism out there. Ahsoka, the television show. So spend a lot of time talking and not blaming, but talking about everything the Jedi did wrong. Let's talk about the Coven for a little bit and what role they played in their destruction and this tragedy out there. So Torben got possessed. We know that already. But now we got to see how everything played in his mind. Visually, it was great. The way that was shot and the conversation, cool. Extremely cool. And Isaiah not only got in his head, she knows his past. He knows that his parents were paupers from whatever planet. So she knows to like not just take over his mind, like read his thoughts, like past memories or whatever. So I understand that he might still be kind of messed up for a couple of years. Mother Coral, since the first time we see her, she's ready to fight. She's telling everyone, get ready, the Jedi are coming. Freaking May, you don't want Osha to leave. Get mad, the Jedi won't announce themselves where they're going to attack, stop her from leaving. So it's like agitating everyone. So when the Jedi got there, everyone's already itching for a fight.
And that's why, again, it's complicated because I get wanting to defend yourself, but you're clearly having a fight with your wife. Maybe settle that first, because your wife is saying something and you want something else, and your solution is over my dead fucking body. That's my second F-bomb. And again, like that whole thing of she being like agitating May and pushing her, being like, go ahead, take this match, kid. There's the gasoline. And I think in that case, she is at fault because, again, maybe settle your things with your wife first.
Yeah. Which May started the fire. We talked in episode 3, we don't know. She kind of burns the book where then the camera cuts out. Now we see that, again, by mistake, because that book burned a lot quicker than she thought. Kind of mistakenly or started that fire that led to everything. But also when when Torben and Soul get there, and Soul's asking about how were the twins created, and then Anisea kind of goes into, those noble intentions of yours are gonna get every Jedi killed. You want to take my daughter away to, instead of being raised by a family, be raised by an institution. So she's kind of also pushing all of this.
She has a point.
She has a point, but then after, unfortunately, she gets killed. She's like, "Oh, you won. I was gonna let her go with you. She wants to be a Jedi."
Then I was just busting your balls, man.
Why then you telling me you want to take my child away? You're gonna take her away from her family? Oh, I was gonna let her go anyway. Maybe start with that. Just open with that, and maybe
you know what I bet because I think she's accepting that Osha's going. But I don't think she's happy about it.
Yeah.
I think she has her concerns and her not only concerns, like well-founded concerns.
Yeah,
so we could see, and she being like, "You freaking idiot! Like,
why are you back here?" Because she does say, "Why are you guys back here? You shouldn't have come back."
Yep. So, yeah. Again, more to that tragedy.
Yeah. You should have brought him here. No. My mind is fortified. Not you. turn around. That freaking Wookiee that's gonna kick everyone's ass.
Cool fight. It was one of my biggest fears every time I come to the United States is seeing a bear. Because it's the animal that's here that it's not in Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
And I think that was the closest to a bear attack we're gonna get in Star Wars.
Yeah. Man, it was horrifying for those poor Jedi, and the way he just beat Torben to a pulp, almost split him in half. I love that shot when Kelnaka has him by the face against the wall and just turns his lightsaber, and then Torben, out of habit, I guess, just turned his lightsaber, was able to block it. And then Saul just beating on him. Kelnaka, no, let him go. So it's not gonna work. Force pushes both of them. Have to be saved by Indara, but a great scene. And we want to see a Wookiee in action, and here we got to see it, and it delivered.
I think it really delivered on the disappointment we had when we saw Kelnaka dead. Like, I think this was enough to satisfy me.
Yeah, it was. I was afraid it wasn't going to be. I was very bummed that he died in episode 4. We force pulled a blaster from some guys and broke it. I'm like, he was in all the marketing. He was out there doing everything. I'm like, if he just fights Torben like we've seen in the trailer, it's not gonna be enough. But no, again, just watch the show. Just wait to watch what happened. It was great. And then unfortunately, they go back to the ship. They gotta decide what to do. And Torben and first thing, Dara's just laying it on Torben and Saul. I told you guys not to go there. I told you we're going to escalate. Like, shut the hell up. And then Saul starts walking and we said, turn around, mother. They start just kung fu, and Torben's like seeing his parents fight. Masters, please don't. I love it. I love that confrontation. It's very easy to just say, yeah, the Jedi were wrong, the witches were wrong, but to see those two Jedi go at it because they just see what happened, which was a tragedy from two different points of view. One of them basically saying, I told you so. I don't know. It's just things we usually don't see in Star Wars. Usually Jedi Masters are on the same wavelength. I love seeing all this kind of difference of opinions and the way it was written and shot and acted. Again, acting in the show, especially some of those characters have been great.
Harold is saying Indara talks to Saul like he's her Padawan. Yeah. By the way he behaves, he's kind of a Padawan because boy, does he make bad decisions.
It's like maybe Yoy was put as a knight too quick. Maybe Saul was moved to a master a little bit too quickly. Well, yeah, exactly. He does talk to him as a Padawan.
Hans is saying Indara didn't deserve to die. It was Torben's idea to go. Saul killed NSA. Actually, the only thing Indara has done is that she killed the witches by
which she didn't have. I think she didn't have any idea that was going to happen.
Yeah, I don't think she wasn't trying to kill them. She just wanted to get the hell out of there.
Yeah. Oh, poor Indara. So yeah, just kind of finishing up. We already talked about Saul having to now live with the decision of taking Osha away and having to create this lie around it. So just kind of missing things we didn't really talk too much about. Torben, like Reed said, just wanted to be back home, back on Coruscant.
I like that comparison. That's about the only thing they have in common, but yes.
Yeah, doesn't like being out in the wild, in adventure, just wants to be back on Coruscant. Indara learning more about the Ascension. Of course, that leads to that word sacrifice that kind of led everything to it. And we already talked about Torben and was that enough for him to go into a Barash Bow and kill himself. But
I think maybe the Barash Bow, maybe his connection to the Force was broken after that situation. So that's maybe why he went to that.
Yeah, he's got to go find Death's Raiden and figure things out.
Where's Death?
Where's freaking Death? He's going to come out in Phase 3 and be the savior.
I hope Claudia brings him back.
Into the light. Into the light. Maybe that's it.
Please, Claudia Gray.
I'm gonna, as soon as that book comes out, I'm gonna be asking for Claudia Gray to come.
I'm gonna get it on PDF and just Control F rest just to see.
Just close it. If she's not there, just return it.
1 mention or 15,000.
Yeah. All right. Okay. Some final predictions. Sorry, some finale predictions. I should say that maybe we need to be answered. We want to be answered. I wrote a few down. If you have any, my first one. Okay, go ahead.
My vision of the finale is May and Sol getting to whatever this planet is. Actually, Hansa mentioned it. Let me see. Baldemic. People are speculating it's Baldemic. It's the planet where Cortosis is from in Legend, so maybe.
So that's the planet where Plagueis and Tenebrous go out. They're mining for Cortosis, and then thank you, Tenebrous. You gave us Plagueis because you died.
So I kind of want May and Sol to get there and all of them to sit down and have a conversation and talk it out.
Soup.
It's a procedural. They all talk. They settle the differences. Osha and Sol leave. May and Chimera stay. That's the end.
Oh, so sweet. It's not gonna happen. I mean, hopefully they'll get there and they're in that big resolution or everything happens there. So I want to find out, Chimera, is he really a Sith? Is he a Knight of Ren? Is he the first Ren? I want to find out who is or what is Chimera. I want that. I hope we get that answer. And if he's a Sith, or who was his master? There's a question in the chat talking about the Green Lady one, guessing it's Vernestra. Is Vernestra Chimera's master? There's a lot of speculation out there that Vernestra's been hiding something. He has those scars on his back that look like whip slashes. Can Vernestra be Chimera's master and she be involved in some of this? He was a Jedi. He was supposedly also discarded. I want to say no, that Vernestra's not involved in this. But I don't know, she's been there a lot. She was the one to say in that second episode, oh, this is the job of a fallen Jedi. I mean, she's not the one that says fallen Jedi, but she says, oh, she was trained by a Jedi. I don't need a hologram to tell me that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And she said, oh, there's more at play out there. So maybe she knows something that she isn't revealing. Do you think Vernestra might be Chimera's Jedi Master?
Jedi Master, maybe. I think we'll see. We have to see how then she would jump into this last part of the story, because she's in Kofar. She doesn't know where May is. She doesn't know where Osha is. She doesn't know where Sol is. She doesn't know what actually happened.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think it's kind of a stretch because of that, but maybe. I don't like the theory that she's the Sith Master. I think it's a hat on a hat, and it would just create more questions. I don't know.
I don't think, and I would hope it doesn't happen, that Vernestra and Sol, that neither of them are secret Sith out there. It was Vernestra, maybe Chimera's Jedi Master. There's a possibility to it. I still don't think that she's the one that hit him with the lightsaber on his back. He would probably be dead if that happened.
That's what I'm thinking. Like, if you're struck by a light whip, it's gonna cut you. Like, it's a lightsaber, that it bends.
Yeah, exactly. You weren't here. Was it last week, dude? I spent, I won't say hours, a couple of minutes looking for images of real lightning strikes.
I did the same thing.
I saw a few, not really, but
this is Star Wars.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, Sith lightning.
It looked more like the kind of scar. Remember in Force Awakens when Kylo stabs Finn in the back?
Yeah.
And just like runs the lightsaber up. I think it's more like that. I wish it's the Sith Master who did that to them. Because he's just using it to manipulate.
Sith manipulation. Who would have thunk it? But then it also keeps the audience guessing. If it's revealed, let's say halfway between through the episode that Vernestra was his master, we're all gonna think, oh crap, it was a lightsaber. But I mean, the lightsaber whip. But then at the end we find out, no, he has a Sith master, and maybe he hits him again with the lightning or something, because you failed me again, or you're trying to find an acolyte to replace me. This is what you got 10 years ago. You're getting it again.
Seeing how casual this show has been with reveals, I wouldn't be surprised if, like, the first 3 lines of dialogue is like, Vernestra was my master.
Yeah. We gotta find out. Same thing. Do you think we're gonna find out how the twins were created? I think that's a big one.
Leslie said we are.
Okay.
I was of the camp that we didn't need to find out. I don't think that's necessary to wrap up the story, but maybe it's actually tied to the dark side mystery or what's actually the larger thing at play. So yeah, maybe we'll see. I have a question for you. I've seen a lot of people be like, "Oh, I don't know. Like, there's so much to wrap up. Like, I don't really feel that way. I'm like, yeah, this is definitely the last episode."
I mean, it does feel like the last episode, like everything's been built into it. I think there's a lot of open questions, which are the ones we're just asking now. But I think a lot of them are related and that you can wrap them up pretty quickly. If they start opening more things, like Vernesser is a Sith Lord, or freaking Soul is a Sith Master, Coral, which we still don't know if she's dead or not. Maybe she's. If they start adding more to it,
I think
Coral be nice. I've been asking since episode 3, where's Coral? I haven't seen a body.
I think she's out there.
Because I always ask, how does Kymir know so much about what happened there? Why does he hate Soul so much? Maybe Coral is the one to kind of instigate him and kind of, hey, here's May, train her on the dark side because all this happened. And Soul, he's bad. He's a bad one.
Can I tell you my theory? So of course we saw that May saw what Soul did. She saw it like point blank. So she does know that part of what happened in Brendok, but she just doesn't know the whole of it.
Mm.
You know that planet with the ring, the one with the eclipse?
Yeah.
I think that's where Kymir and Osha are. There's a shot in the trailer we haven't seen, and it's
flying through
a ring.
Yeah.
So I think that's Soul and May getting there. So that's maybe the planet. If it is, what was the name of the planet?
Valdelmic, or something like that.
Whatever. If it is that, maybe they are hiding out there, and Tenebrous or whoever is like, "Oh, I sense something there," and they go and they find the aftermath, and they're like, "The Jedi, yeah, we know, come,
yeah,
we have a support group." And
it's only 2 right now, but we'll let you join.
So that's kind of my theory. I think that's how this all ties together.
And it makes sense. There's a reason that those planets are the O in the Acolyte, and it's not just to read the background of a couple of episodes. So,
do you have a question about the Sith theory?
So my final thing was, I mean, I have 2, but talking about, do you think we'll get either a mention or appearance by Plagueis, by Tenebrous?
Here we go. Because there's a question in the chat. Harold was asking, do we know for sure that Plagueis was male? We don't, because in canon we have not seen Plagueis.
The only thing, and correct me if I'm wrong, but the only thing in canon that we know is that Plagueis was Palpatine's master, Sidious' master, and that Triator Darth Plagueis. There's nothing really out there, and that he's a moon, basically. I don't know if that's even canon or not.
I don't know. I'm not sure it is.
Yeah, so there's really, they can play with it. And I know people say, oh, Plagueis is like 10 years old now. Why? There's nothing. We already went through this with freaking
Kiarimondi's alive, buddy.
If it makes, because I've been, you know me, I've been on these Plagueis things for a while now. I've been tripling and quadrupling down on Plagueis being the Sith master out there. And now with Valdelmic kind of in play, I'm fifth-tupling, quintupling down on it. It makes sense that he or she, whoever Plagueis is involved somehow.
I think absolutely no problem with them bringing Legends thing in and playing with them a little bit to adapt them to what the story is.
Because even though I understand that Tenebrous maybe makes more sense in terms of years and timelines, if we want to go with the Legends canon, but people know who Plagueis is. I don't know who Plagueis is. Oh, in Revenge of the Sith, this happened. Who's Tenebrous? Oh, well, you remember Revenge of the Sith that Triator Darth Plagueis with his master. It's like too much.
Do you know the amount of clip sharing that will happen? Like, oh, sharing this clip for no particular reason.
yeah, of course. Acolyte, out of spoilers, it's the Triator Darth Plagueis the voice.
Or maybe Leslie made up a new Sith, and I'm still the mindset it kind of has to be Plagueis or Tenebrous because we're that close to Phantom Menace. Or maybe it's not. Maybe there are 1,000 Sith in between that just killed each other.
Maybe. You even said it months ago. You said maybe becomes Plagueis. Now I turn you into Darth Plagueis.
I'd be the happiest person to see a certain sector freak the F out over a black non-binary person being Darth Plagueis.
Yeah. Oh man. All right, so just to kind of wrap up,
the Kylo Ren theme keeps popping up. Leslie said, "Yes, it's on purpose. I can't tell you why."
So this is why I think it might be Ren. That Chimera might be the first Ren is because of it. But I wish it was the Sith out. And maybe, like you said, maybe he is Ren and then just goes. And then the Sith are kind of, like you said, what happened here? Like the Jedi have been involved in something. And there's another dark side user out there we might have to deal with later on. But it's a reason. There's a reason. Maybe it's just for all the shippers out there. I doubt it. It's there for a reason.
Maybe so to kind make of that connection.
Yeah, I might to see that maybe there's a connection between Osha and Chimera. So for the remaining Sith, Sol and Vernestra basically are leads. Do they survive this? Oh no. Honsa, Basil is safe. He'll be taken back to Kofar.
Basil will not be hurt. Is Vernestra dying, you asked?
We have Sol and Vernestra, basically the last two. And Vernestra hasn't seen Chimera, so she doesn't technically have to die at this point. But let's say it's Sol dying. Let's just leave it at Sol. Is he making it out of season 1?
Fuck.
I think he sacrifices himself. Again,
I don't know. I honestly don't have an opinion. Like I truly don't know.
I think it might be a Star Wars thing. He'll sacrifice himself to save Osha and May or something, just to I atone for it, so I'm killing myself. Or not killing myself, I'm sacrificing myself for you guys.
He drinks a bunta.
Just throws a bunta tree to Chimera.
Chimera had the bunta!
He had. I know. He's there. He was there. And he has the spice cream. He was eating spice cream. Our friend Alan called it after episode 3. In episode 2, we see Chimera eating the bunta, the spice treats, which are from Brendok. So he's in the area. So he might be one of those.
He was on an excursion with Tenebrous in Brendok.
Man, I keep saying Plagueis was a master of Sith alchemy. We already talked about mining and the cortosis. He's into all this manipulation with the midichlorians and helping create dyads. It all ties, in my eyes, to Plagueis, but we'll see. All right, as we kind of close, and hopefully we get a season 2 of the Acolyte. We'll get an announcement at some time. I don't know. We'll see. Any final comments in the chat?
Super excited. Let's see what the chat is saying. Harold is saying he doesn't have a connection to Sol. Okay. See, they're looking forward to the mystery. He's asking if Coral is from Dathomir. Yes, I think she's a Zabrak. So yeah, but she's not a Night Sister. So
no, and we got a Night Sister call out at the beginning of the episode. All right, so with that, let me see. One last question came in. Let me see real quick. So Harold's asking, wait, what planet does that armor come from? So in that weird planet, wherever they are, which maybe is Valdelmic, which is the planet from the Plagueis novel, is where the cortosis mine is. So we're thinking it's from that unnamed, unknown planet. All right, so thank you guys. That does it for our Star Wars talk. But if you want to stay on for a couple of minutes, we're going to go to that part of the show. We talk about something else that's not Star Wars in a world between fandoms. Sorry about that. All right, Oti, world between fandoms. It's been a while. We kind of talked about it before we started the show, but Doctor Who came and gone, season 1, series 1, series 67, whatever you want to call it. We haven't talked about the last 2 episodes. So the finale divided into 2 episodes. What is it? The Mystery of Ruby Sunday and then Empire of Death. I think they work great as a back-to-back. They flowed pretty well. Episode 1 had the big reveal of, what was his name? Freaking Devil
Sutek.
Dog. Sorry?
Sutek.
I'll say when I saw Sutek, which I didn't know who the hell it was or he was, I was a little bit bummed out because it was this weird creature out there. I was expecting a humanoid form to come out, not the Daleks or anyone, but someone else I recognize. So, like everyone said, I went to the Doctor Who Wookiee out there to just figure out who the hell he was. So I found out. It's a cool reveal for people that know who it was. I love Enshuti when he sees that time window and just breaks down into, really? This is what you guys have? All this technology and you really cobble this together. I love the way that he just drags them to the floor.
Yep.
And then I listened to you guys' episode about the finale. A lot of things I agreed with. I think it worked. It was one of those things that sometimes it doesn't work for the audience, but it works for the characters. So it kind of depends how you want to take it. So Ruby's mom being just basically a no one out there doesn't work for all that build-up. Like you guys said, I'll let you explain when you get a chance to talk about it. Was a lot of build-up about who's Ruby's mom and why can Sutek see her, or why does Sutek so kind of involved or wanted to know who she was? Why couldn't they see who she was? Why is always knowing all this stuff? Just the most regular person in the world is the most important. It's a good message, and it works for Ruby. And that scene in the cafe, I broke down in my house. I got emotional. But I do understand that really we spent the whole season with all this build-up to just end there. It's a little bit deflating. But in all, I think it was a good finale. I enjoyed it. A couple of times I saw it. Very happy with Enshuti, with Millie Gibson. Great pair. Can't wait for season 2.
Yeah, I actually saw some people being like, oh, if you like The Last Jedi, you're going to love this episode. And as someone who loves The Last Jedi, I wholeheartedly disagree. Because I think in Star Wars, the speculation on Rey's parents was on the fans' side.
Yeah.
Ryan, I specifically remember being like, Rey's parents are important to her, not to the story.
Mm-hmm.
Then whatever happened. So again, it was on the fan side. Here, that's on me. I was listening to the Doctor Who podcast every single week, and Russell T Davies every single week came in and teased the parents reveal.
Yeah,
and like I get the message you're sending, but come on, dude. And it kind of rubbed me the wrong way because I think in Legend of Ruby Sunday he did a masterful job reading the fandom, pointing us in a direction and pulling the rug from under us and being like, I got you guys. And I thought that was very clever. In this part, I was like, oh, come on, man. And he specifically said, yeah, I saw Star Wars and I was inspired. So, okay, you took another 19-year-old British girl and made this whole mystery about her parents. Good on you, Russell. I loved the first episode of the finale. The second one disappointed me a bit. I wasn't angry. I wasn't upset. I was just like, oh, really? Like, that's what we went with. That's fine. It reminded me of The Last of the Time Lords. It's this big finale, the ending of David Tennant. And for me, that episode was like, oh, the Time Lords are coming back. The Time Lords, they're here. No, they're gone. And it's like, oh, dude, so many missed opportunities. You know what I did love, by the way? The memory TARDIS.
Oh, that was great. That was awesome.
Big hater of Jodie's screwdriver. When Mel takes it, I was like, oh!
And even isn't that a little small version of the interior with the gold fingers, where they have it as a campfire also?
It's Jodie's TARDIS.
Yeah. So I was one of those persons that forwarded you like RTD's Last Jedi comparison. So, oh, look, he kind of took some inspiration for Star Wars. And then when I heard your show, it's like, yeah, I do get it. Like, of course, Star Wars fans just took it to a different level with all our speculations. but it was full on the creator, especially Russell T Davies, just teasing, like you said. Every interview that I saw also is teasing. Oh, the fans are gonna really dig what's gonna happen. Oh, the mystery of her mother. Why can't Sutek? So he really built that up to, it's just important for her. Like, then, dude, it's on you.
I love Sutek not killing them because he got on the speculation train. He's like, no, I really want to know what happened.
Yeah, it's like just a fan like us. I want to know who the mom is. I love that scene when he goes to this desolate planet and meets the mom that just is forgetting everything. I love that scene just because it's just two actors just going at it. And then, I think she died and I forgot about it. Talk about her daughter. I'm like, oh crap, that's gonna be one of the hardest things. I was, I'll save that world with a spoon. Just with a spoon. I'm like, where's that spoon from? I know I heard the spoon before. And then, no, that's Capaldi. That's my spoon. It's my spoon. It's, even if they're not the same spoon, it's just, spoon is important in Doctor Who. So, I enjoyed it. Wasn't the greatest finale, but still more mysteries out there, especially Mrs. Flood out there. Who the hell is Mrs. Flood?
Saying some weird things. I'll march to his gates, and what are you talking about, Mrs. Flood? I loved, by the way, she being like, and I'm gonna destroy she being like, oh, this clever boy, he brought us back, and I'm gonna destroy him.
Yeah, it's like at one point, wait, is she working for Sutek? No, I think she's her own thing. And then, of course, get into speculation. Everyone, is she a manifestation of all the companions because she's wearing all the different clothes from all the companions? Is she a Time Lord? Is she his granddaughter? Again, all this speculation till we get to December and see what happens in the Christmas special.
I hope she's in this Christmas special. She's in season 2, by the way.
Sorry?
She's in set pictures of season 2, so maybe it'll drag on that mystery.
Yeah, I want to say that Russell T Davies said she was going to show up in the Christmas. Maybe it's just a one scene like she's been all season.
You know what would be a funny running gag? Like every time she's about to reveal herself and enact her plan, something else happens and she can't do
it. Yeah. Oh, man. All right. So, yeah, Doctor Who will come back next year. At least it's next year. We don't have to wait 2 years for it.
Yep.
So, real quick, House of the Dragon Season 2. It's already in episode 4, right? Episode 5 is tomorrow. Dude, it's killing it. It's so good. This last episode.
Acting!
Yeah. I love
God
everything.
God bless you, Rhaenys Targaryen.
Oh, dude, she just, when she said, no, I'll go. Let me do it. Like, crap. But also, you're a boss. And when she took on Vhagar, not just the first time, she turned around and said, no, we're finishing this. It's like,
my
queen. You're right.
I've read the book, so when they started talking about Rook's Rest, my fiance was like, oh, she's gonna die, isn't she? I was like, at one point, I'm not gonna lie, I thought they were gonna change it because she kept coming back. I loved in the book, it's all framed like she's the one who burns Aegon. Here, I love that perspective that it was actually Aemond. I love that actually Kristen Cole saw what happened, so that's gonna be interesting.
Freaking Kristen Cole.
I'll say this: I hate Kristen Cole. I despise him. I loved him in this episode. I think the show hasn't done a great job showing this. Kristen Cole is like GOAT tier knight in this universe. Like Jaime Lannister idolizes him. So seeing that guy like not freak out, but you see it in his face when he sees the dragon and seeing the aftermath and he being like, this is a guy who's seen everything in war. And even him is like, what have we done? What have we unleashed? Like, I really like that.
Yeah, I think he hasn't been shown as this great military mind. But this episode kind of showed it. Like, he's just putting the bait out there for Rhaenyra to come at. Bring your dragon. Bring anyone. I got a sleeping dragon back here in the forest. We're gonna do
still
this.
A little shit, but yes.
Yeah, I mean, he sucks. But when freaking Vhagar vapes Sunfire, I'm like, fuck, did he just kill his brother? again, I love the scene before when they're just going at it in High Valerian, and Aegon doesn't know. I fight.
When Aemon started talking in High Valerian, I looked at my fiance. I was like, Aegon doesn't know High Valerian, and then he's like, I would like to go to war.
You see, I love that. The vocabulary, the way they speak is same as here in Elvish in Rings of Power. I just love it. And then Daemon on his end just going crazy, seeing visions.
I wish he sees Viserys in one of these episodes.
Oh man, that
would be awesome.
Knock on wood for tomorrow.
I love the question that is Harrenhal haunted, or is he just losing his mind? Like,
yeah,
I love that it's never cleared up in Game of Thrones.
Mm-hmm. It's a great show.
A scene I love, by the way, Rhaenyra telling the story to Jacaerys.
Mm. Oh yeah.
I like how different it is from when Viserys tells her the story, because he's telling it to her. The realm has to be united. That's why we don't do dragon warfare. That's why we have to stay together. And in this case, she's doing the opposite. Like, this is why we're going to war. Mm-hmm. We're not doing it for the throne. This is our last resource to stop this from happening. So I like that dual perspective.
Yeah, and dual perspective. I love the difference of parenting style. I love how thoughtful Rhaenyra is with all her sending half her kids. I need to keep you safe. Just go. And you're not going to go into battle with your dragon. They don't know. Just stay safe. And then Alicent doesn't give in 3 Fs about anyone. Which, of course, her dad is a piece of shit also, which I miss because he was so great. But she's like, do what you do best and shut up and don't say anything. And it's like, please, mom, love me.
I think Alicent is like 3 cups of wine away from being like, fuck it, I'm a black now. I'm a black.
Yeah.
I think she's going through a less creepy version of what Daemon is going through. Like I think guilt is consuming her. And I think she's going through the books just to look for validation on what she saw or the contrary. I don't know.
All right. Anyway, great show out there. Episode 5 tomorrow, and then Rings of Power in August. August 29th. Yeah.
Okay.
Some great pictures. I think there's they have a panel at Comic-Con, at San Diego Comic-Con, coming up in next week or 2 weeks from now. So I think the next trailer is coming there, because there's ET and I don't know, all these different interviews and pictures going out there. So it's close.
You know who's going to be in Comic-Con? Who?
Yeah, with Star Trek. I think they have a.
They're doing 2 panels. One of season 1 and more. That's what they tease, and the Star Trek one, which is interesting.
Yeah, I mean, give us more. It works. I always say Star Trek is the American version of Doctor Who. It's very similar. All right, so thank you, Alti, for being back. It's always fun having you here. Thanks for everyone that made it to it, especially our new friends. Let me say it. Thank you and bye to everyone out there. Harold, Whaley. Hansa, of course, Brennan, Dale, and if I missed anyone, sorry, but thanks to everyone that was here. If you didn't make it to the chat but was able to watch this, so thank you. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up button and subscribe to our channel. Like I mentioned at the beginning of the episode, next week we'll be back on Thursday. It's a special episode on Thursday to cover the Acolyte finale at 7 p.m. Eastern with our friend Maggie Lovett. That's gonna be a wild episode. And then I don't know, I gotta talk to you. I might take a couple of days off, a couple of weeks off, take a vacation. So we'll figure that out.
So it.
We'll be back on Thursday.
What? I got this book. It's interesting.
Oh, you gotta do a non-spoiler review one of these days. The Rise and Fall, right? Rise and Fall of the Galactic Empire.
It's a history book.
There you go. All your history nuts out there. All right, we'll see you guys on Thursday. Thanks for being here. See you next week. Stay safe. Be safe, and may the Force be with you.